Hello, this was shared with me so I could share it with you. This is a little hydroponics growing system. So I'm going to get this open here, show you what this involves. It has this little booklet here with it. It gives you some instructions, it helps you to get started. It is a 10-pod hydroponic system, and it looks like it's pretty much just all in one right here inside the box. So let's get that open. Pretty cool. Very excited for this. We have some basil we want to try. So there is the front, is we're going to put your water, and then here is the top. So there is a power adapter. I guess that's inside there. So I guess I'm going to need to pull that top off. So that looks like it's manual. So that just goes up just like that. Very simple. And then we're just going to open these. There's where all your pods are going to sit. Here's your little soil cones. We've got some little markers and some little seed cups there. Here is our power unit, very important part. And then in here, this is our liquid plant food. So they just all set to go. Just add water. It says it's 100 milliliters. The instructions say you're going to add 1 liter of water to 5 milliliters of A and 5 milliliters of B. All right. So, and this is B. So this is what you're going to add to your water when you get it started here. So we'll add these to our water as we get started. Let's see what else we have here. We'll set those guys there. We've got a filtration system there in the bottom. So that's going to keep your water flowing, keep it from getting stagnant. And then it has its little power here. There is a plug there in the back. So if you need to drain your water, you'll just pull this little plug out. But of course, you're going to want to make sure that that plug is in there. Now that we're going to put some water in. So we will make sure that plug is snug. There it is, back in place. Oh, I see. So here, this power unit is going to go, this power unit that's inside there handling the filter is going to go there into the top. And then this one here, which goes into your plug, is going to go down here at the bottom. And that is going to power the filter and the light by plugging that into there. One thing it does tell you is not to push that power button there on the top until you have water in there. You don't want to wear out your filter. So you want to make sure there's water in here so that the water can flow through the filter and not burn out your little motor. So get that started there. And then here is where you're going to set your little seed trays. That's going to go right in there like that. There's a hole in the back for it to come out. So if you look here, there is a little slot right there, and your cord can just come right out through there, and that way it doesn't mess up the top at all. So we're just going to put that right there, let that slide in there, and then we're going to put the top right on like that, and then it's nice and snug. Next, we'll get some of our little containers here that we're going to put our plant in. You can do all sorts of things. You can grow items straight from cuttings, or you can we got this one here already at the store, so we're just going to put this one in. It's all just roots, so we'll just be able to put this right into the pots. We're just going to have to separate them a bit so that they go right into the pots. This is some basil that we got, which was already grown hydroponics, and we're just going to add it into these cups. So I think what I'm going to have to do is actually split the roots. We're going to split this plant in two because this is bigger than the little root thingies are. So that basil smells amazing. All right, so we'll get one of these open. You're going to need more than one for this little project. All right, so they're just going to sit in there like that. And then if you were going to be growing seeds, you have these little fertilizer pieces here. Or if you're just doing a stem cutting, you could do that too. For this case though, we won't need those because we've already got these guys rooted. So that would go in there like that. And then you just put your seed or whatever into there, if you were doing that way. This kit does not include seeds, so you're on your own as far as that's concerned, but it does include all these other things. So let's get some of this basil out here. And like I said, we're going to separate this a bit because it is a big set of roots here, and I need to split them up a little bit so they fit in these little vials. And some of this is a little bit wilty because I had it sitting out for the day. All right, here we go. And we'll see what happens here. Ooh, a little wet. All right, so there we broke them apart. Now they should be able to fit into this little container. So let's go. Push this little guy right into there. I might in the future want to break them apart a little more than even this, but we'll see how this goes. Let's see how small we can get it. I think that's going to work. So I'm just fitting it right into there. Getting a little messy. But the cats are interested in this. Go away. You're fine. Go away. And then we're just going to let the roots grow out through here a little bit. Give them a little space. Alright, so there's one set. We'll see how that does. Now, obviously they got a little worn there. We'll see how they do under the light, if they come back or not. But right now they're a little sad. I stressed them out a bit there. Their roots are... I might have to use one of those things anyway, after all, to get... This guy's got some roots there. My cats are too nosy. I don't think that's going to work either. What we might have to do is cut it open. Since it's not just a seed we're putting in there, we're going to actually put a plant in there. So I don't know that that's going to be an option. So let's just put this one in here next and see how this goes. Maybe these plants are just too big. They're too big and happy. We'll see if they survive all this handling here. I'm handling them pretty rough. See how resilient the basil is. Alright, this little guy down in there. There we go. Alright, there's one. And then this one here, I think I need to push it down in there a little farther. I think the roots are sticking up a little too much. We do want the roots to go in the water. So they need to go, there we go, into the vial. There, that worked. Alright, I just had to push them harder. There we go. Now they're looking like plants. So, again, they're going to need to be under this light a little bit because they're semi-wilting from their travels after having left the grocery store. There we go. Come on, guys. Talk to the plants. Make them happy. Alright. And this has 10 different tubes, so it's nice. Gives us a lot to work with there. This is just going to be our little basil nursery. And we will have some fun with pasta with the basil nursery. Alrighty here. I'm going to do it this way. See if I can push them down in there. See how that's working there? And then the roots are just coming around that. A little happy basil. Alright, so there we have it. Cute, right? Voila. Now we just need to go turn on our water. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to add the water into here. And there is a fill. Right there's the fill line. You can see it there in the front. You can see that's what they look like there underneath. Now they're all set and ready to go. Oh my gosh, the smell is amazing on these guys. Alright. And we're going to put it up to the 3-liter mark there, just so you can see what's happening. Right there, that's the max line. It is up to the max. And then we can put these right inside of there. Alright. That's all ready. We will turn that on here momentarily. Put that down there a little bit more. Alright. Now we just need to plug it in. We need to add this here. So this says 15 milliliters of A and 15 milliliters of B. And before we get that going, alrighty, so now we've got the water in there. We're just going to get this plugged in. So let me go back here and find my plug, and here is the plug. Alright, it is now plugged in. The light is on. We can feel the water is actually being filtered. I can feel it moving around in there. So now it's just a matter of these little plants being happy with the light up here. The light does have options. The options are, we have one for flowers and fruits. That's the flowers and fruits. There's a mode for vegetables. That's the vegetable mode. Water mode. And then flowers and fruits. So I'll have to look and see what herbs are if they fall under flowers and fruits. But for now, I'm putting them under flowers and fruits. We'll see here what the book says about herbs. You can also look it up online as well. You do want to have the ambient temperature be between 59 and 86 degrees. You do want to clean your pump once a month, at least. It basically runs 30 minutes on and then 30 minutes off. Alrighty, and then we are going to add the water fertilizers. We're going to add the A and the B, and we're going to do 15 milliliters of each one. 15 milliliters goes for every... You're going to add purified water into here till it gets to 100 milliliters, which is up there at the top. Then you're going to shake it, and then that's what you're going to put into the mix. So you're going to fill these both with water up to the fill point, shake them till they dissolve, and then that's what you're going to add into the water. There's one capful right there. Put it right in there. And then this is the capful of B. We're going to put that right in there. Alright. Now we're good to go. Let's see these puppies grow. You will want to store that then in a cool place. Make sure that your kids and pets don't get into it. You need 10 milliliters of each vitamin for every 2 liters of water. And we have 3 liters of water in here. So it's going to need 15 of each, which is a full cap. So there we have it, and we'll see how, I feel like they're getting a little bit of energy already. They look like they're popping up a little bit underneath that light. So we'll see how they do here and maybe have a little follow-up. So to make sure that nothing gets in there and gets into your water, you don't want any bugs or anything going in there and making it messy. So you can just put these black plugs on it just to cover it up, and that don't keep mosquitoes or bugs or anything from getting in there and growing either. So you can just plug these up. This is actually the water one, so put those there. This one goes over here. This is where you're gonna put your water, and then those are just the extras that you didn't use. They're just all gonna go right over there like that. And there, and we need one more right there. Now the other thing it does suggest you do is to put these over as well, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. This kind of just protects them, but since we already have these open, I think I'm going to have to get a little creative here. So I think we're going to maybe just tear this one, and then we can do it, we'll just put it around it like this. Let's see here how this works. And this is of course going to help it to stay upright. That's the goal anyway. We'll see how it works in application. So then we'll just put that right there in the center like that. That worked pretty well. And we just need to put the other piece that broke off. We'll just put that right there. Alright, so that gives it a little closure there. That'll keep the roots and everything from drying out as well. We'll do that again on this one. They're really not happy with me handling them so much today. Tear that one also. Wow, they're sticky. Alright, then we're just going to put this guy right here like this, and then right there. Happy. Alright. So if you're looking for a nice little hydroponics system that you can just sit in your window or in your kitchen, check this one out to grow some herbs.